It says it's going live.
As always, ladies and gentlemen, can you hear us? Good evening, everybody. Lovely to have you with us.
Right.
Hello,
Good evening,
Steve.
everyone.
Yes, can you hear us, Steve?
I can hear everybody loud and clear.
You would like to hope so, wouldn't you? Oh, that's feedback, Martin.
There we go. What? There we go.
Oh my goodness. And
there we
have
go.
to say straight out off the bat, apologies for your eyes looking at Ken's hoodie.
No. Glad you added hoodie. You added hoodie on the end there.
Just for Ken. Just going to apologise for Ken. I'm not going to go that far. We can't apologise completely. The hoodie will do for now. Audio is great, apparently.
Okay, I just need to turn myself down a little bit because I am very loud.
We know.
And you're very quiet, Dom.
Am I? Not on my end, or not?
No, on my end you are.
You've been editing again.
So
while you're doing that, I'll say hello. We've got Leslie, I've got Peter Little, we've got Bill Roy, hi mate, Duncan, Paul Richardson, all in the house so far.
Yeah, I've got Leslie here saying hello to Hayley. She'll be back in a minute. I think she's having a bath. And Tom the Wargamer, hello.
She's going to be back in your chat. I've got Steve Reese. Hello, Steve. Hello, my chat as well. Nice to see you all here. It's going to be an interesting one tonight, everybody. It's going to be very interesting. we already had off-screen shenanigans from Steve. Steve was like,
we're just going to line him up and just look at him, aren't we?
I know.
Like a fire and forget missile.
Right, so good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Plastic Crap Podcast, episode 29. 29 weeks. What the hell?
29 weeks of this rubbish. What's going on?
I know. Your one-stop shop on a Monday night for all things hobby-related.
Oh my God.
I've just seen the viewers just drop.
That was the worst infomercial I've ever heard.
I know, it's great, isn't it? So, obviously, above me, you've got Martin's seventh son. To my diagonal, you have Boots on the Table Dom, and to my right, you have Steve from On Point HQ. Good evening, gentlemen. Lovely to speak to you again. How is everyone?
Hello. I'm all right.
Very well.
Very good.
Fantastic.
For a Monday night.
So, yes, for a Monday night. So, this week, a little bit of a controversial subject. Nothing but controversial on this show, obviously. And our main topic should be button counting, and is there a need for it?
Are you?
No, not straight into it, but I'm just getting Steve all wound
up.
He's
just getting him. He's getting him primed.
Yeah, get him primed, so he can think about his subjects he wants to talk about. So that's the main subject talking. But I think maybe for a change, should we just see what we've been doing this week, and then jump straight into any questions you've been sent in, Dom, and then we'll get on to the main topic. So, what's everyone been up to this week? So, Martin, what have you been up to, my friend?
Generally, or just miniature related? I've been I've been working on my Carthaginians, and I've already finished one unit. But I've had a bit of an incident with the snow, so I would show it off, but I'm trying to fix it. So hopefully, I'll update with that tomorrow. And I'm now halfway through painting my second unit, and that was my week in wargaming.
Is that it?
That's it. Yeah.
It? What happened to your snow though, Martin? I hear things.
So my snow.
Yellow.
Yes, so it looked like all my Carthaginians had wet themselves before the battle. Like they were standing.
Could you possibly take a picture of that and stick it on the Gaming Warriors Facebook page?
No, it's got a nice dusting of fresh snow over the top now, so that's been hidden. No, it was just a bit of a nightmare because the product I'm using is more of a powder. So what happens is if you put too much on, the stuff underneath dries, but the stuff on top just sits there, and then when you blow that off, the stuff underneath just turns a kind of off yellow. But I've sorted it out. It's fine. They'll look great. It'll be, I'm sure, it won't be a problem.
No, that's always good. That's always a good thing. But what about yourself, Dom? What have you been up to this week?
What have I been up to? I've been continuing my Cleveberg Napoleonics stroke, everything to do with anything other than the French journey, which has been kind of fun. So I finished off another battalion of Cleveberg, started another one off. And I've done some skirmishes as well. I did start to do my lancers, but then I had a crisis of confidence on colours. So
Oh dear.
I don't know whether you've seen
You got to be careful with them colours, Dom. You got to be careful with them colours.
I know I could get in real trouble with the bottom counters, couldn't I? Yeah. So I don't know where I read it, but somebody made a comment that the colour that the Cleveberg Lancers. So when you see all the pictures, I mean all the reference book, they have bright pink uniforms, bright pink and white uniforms.
That's quite interesting.
But when I started to read into it, it's supposed to be a rose red. And when somebody was talking, I can't remember, one of the many forums I was looking at when I was trying to do research, they suggested this, what is this, Vallejo Amaretha red as being the colour that it's supposed to.
I've actually got some of that.
Yeah, and I started to paint it because it's kind of a bit of a pinky red, isn't it? And I started to paint the saddlecloths with it, and it just kind of doesn't look pinky enough. But I don't know whether I'm so coloured by the fact I've seen all these pictures and they're all bright pink. Whether it, so I'm kind of got a bit of a crisis of confidence.
What sort of undertone did you do?
Oh, it's a light grey.
It's a light grey. Maybe, possibly worth dry brushing a white before you do it. Under the grey, on top of the grey, maybe.
It's a good idea. I mean, what I've done is I've ordered the a proper pink.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to have a try and see what it looks like. I mean, they're not going to be pink and white anyway, because what I did find out is that in 1812, which is the period I'm trying to do, they were green and pink, or green and red, or whatever it is.
Oh, okay.
So,
bit different.
But anyway, that's what I've been doing. So, but I should have got on with my lancers, but I've done the horses, so that's something at least. But
yes, mate. Yeah. It's a nice feeling when you get the horses done. I can tell you that much. But yeah. Definitely. But what about you, Steve?
Kaiser says rose red sounds like something only available in a lingerie department. Yeah, you're probably right, mate. Oh, jeez.
Someone's been down Ann Summers recently, hasn't they? Jesus.
Yeah, I know. He's just commented on mine saying he'll have his elephant off of me. That's not good. That's mine.
I'll be having that. But what about you, Steve? What have you been up to this week, buddy?
I was quite busy. I finished off. I'm repainting my Stalingrad Germans.
Yes.
So I finished another 8-man section and another machine gun team, and my Panzer III. I've discovered the joys of slapping weathering pigments all over my figures.
It's nice, isn't it?
Works so well. Quite a few people asked me whether I was using a fixer with them, and I wasn't. If I use pigments on tanks or vehicles, I'll use airbrush thinner as a fixer. But to get the dusty look on these Stalingrad Germans, literally brush it on and blow off the excess, and it works so well.
Do you do that on bone dry paint, or do you do it on nearly dry paint, or does it?
No, bone dry.
Bone dry. Okay.
Yeah, and it's the stuff I'm using. It's Vallejo earth and oxide weathering pigments. But yeah, it was just something I thought. This is either going to work, or I've just ruined all my figures. Thankfully, it was the former.
Yeah.
Then I painted that French tank.
Yes,
which was
interesting. Done on Warlord, didn't it?
Yes, that was. They liked it on Instagram and shared it on their story, so I was very grateful for that. And I also finished the last of my Fusilier companies for my French infantry. So I'm just down to the voltigeurs now. Oh god, that was something else. It was just I don't know. I think I've
nearly done it, mate.
I'm fascinated by these weathering powders. I want to know more about them because
I just grabbed the lightest one I could find. Just thought, well, is it going to work? Because when I was building that scatter piece the other week, I used loads of pigments on it, and I was really chuffed with the kind of the muted drab look that it gave to them. So I think I've stumbled on something sort of kind of serendipity.
It's improved your paint. Well, because
yeah,
it's improved your painting. Yeah.
The way they look now is how I wanted them always to look, that drab, dirty, but with a bit of snow in as well. I mean, if them on my French vehicles, but I did use a fixer with those. So I did use after I put it with a brush and just I've made streaks using airbrush thinner. And it leaves kind of a dirty residue, which you'd expect to see in a tank or an armored car. But this is the first time I've ever used it without. Especially on, if you've got bases, I've got quite a bit of grit or gravel on there. It sticks to it really well. I mean, there's a lot of glowing stuff, right? I was sat with a bandana around my face because there was stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
So I was quite conscious of breathing in pigment. So it was like pulling it down, blowing it, and putting it back up. So it was a bit of a faff. But no, it's something I would definitely use again. In fact, when I come to do my early German Stalingrad, that's what I'm going to be using to make the dust of the dirt. Really, I definitely recommend having a go with them.
These ones are quite good. Well. Have you tried these ones, the secret weapon ones? Secret weapon. No. These are really, really good. So these are the ones I use on all my shields. I always do them on the bottoms. I use them on horses as well, on the legs, because it just looks like the dust that's been kicked up. But I do tend to fix all mine, but I just use white spirit. But all I do is I put the pigment on quite heavily and then just dip the brush in the spirit, get most of it off the brush, and then just touch it. And then the powder that's already on there will just absorb it and then dry. And it's taken some practice. Like, you will just wash it out if you put too much on there. But if you just dab it on, then
DJ Martin's going.
Am I still gone? Am I back?
Oh, I think we lost him again.
Oh no!
Yeah. He's probably go. No, you're there.
Am I here?
Oh, no.
No, you're there.
Yeah, you're there.
Again, he's back again. It's wobbly.
Oh.
That's really interesting.
Now he's gone.
I'm really. Oh, now he's gone. There we go. I was really disappointed because and I really like.
Tell Hayley to get off the.
I haven't touched on my screen. I was still there for the whole time, just listening to you on my screen. You're still not on mine. You've just disappeared off mine, Ken. But then I don't know. That's probably not terrible.
I thought you were about to sing. You were frozen with your mouth open. It was really good. The one that only was going to start.
No, exactly, yeah. But no, this week it's Napoleonics all the way. I'm doing crackingly well for my challenge. So I started on the 25th of September.
Yeah.
And I'm going to the end of this month. And I've painted 3 battalions at 24 apiece. And I've painted 1 squadron of 12 cavalry. What are they called? What is they're hunters, aren't they? But what's the actual French for it?
They're chasseurs de cheval.
Chasseurs de cheval. Okay, chasseurs de cheval. Yeah, that. And I was happy with them, to be fair. But it kind of brings us into our topic in a bit. But I'm happy with them. I don't think other people are so happy, but we'll talk about that in a bit. And but should we get on to Peter Little's question of the week? And Leslie sent a question in as well.
Yeah. We had one from Miller as well.
We got one from Miller.
As well.
Yeah, we have quite a few in this week, which is great. So Peter's question is: if you were stranded somewhere, like on a desert island or something, what would be your absolute favorite book on wargaming that you consider essential to be with you? It has to be a historical book, a wargaming book. What would you take?
The biggest one possible.
On wargaming.
Black Powder, probably. Rule book, because it's like got a bit of history in it, but at the same time you could use stones and still play war games, so it'd be good.
Yeah. You can smash fish over the head with it. That's true.
Yeah.
I actually think I'd be the same. I'd actually would genuinely. I mean, I'm a bit of a sad git that I'll sit and read like army lists and rule books.
Oh, I love it. It's weird, isn't it?
For ages. And I used to years ago. I used to sit and plan out armies and work out the army, not the perfect army list, but an army list I'd like to do and all that kind of stuff. So actually, I'd be quite happy with any of these, especially the Warlord ones, because I think they're really good books. They give you a lot of history in there as well.
And even the bolt action rule book would be good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Bolt Action one, the Hell Caesar one, the whatever would be. Any of those would be really good books to take. I think if you had to take just one.
Yeah, absolutely. We got War and Peace.
I mean, what about history
think what
books?
I'd
If you could
take.
take one history book, what would you take?
War and Peace. Because it's really long.
Yeah, but it's not.
I know I've got a history one, but I don't know. It's a bit of a strange one. It's a fiction book, and it's it's one of the first books I ever read about World War II. It's called Operation Skydrop, and it's an Action Man book.
Okay.
So basically, the premise is Action Man and GI Joe are dropped with these British paras, and they've got to defend this hotel called the Kaiserhof for 3 days against this overwhelmingly huge German panzer force that's located just outside town. It's one of those books you can read it in a couple of hours. Honest to God, I've read that book so many times I can't remember how many times I've read it. It's just such an enjoyable. It's like proper comic book, shtick, but it always sticks with me. That it's a really good short escapism book to read. So I would quite happily be stranded with an Action Man book. That probably says more about me really than anything else.
Yeah. To be fair, I've changed my mind already.
It sounds like it's the inspiration for Fury, Steve. Is that right?
Here we go. Here we go.
To be fair,
Let's just set him going.
I'm not taking the bait this week. I'm not taking the bait. It's
6 battalions.
Shut up,
No, it's a good book, and I'm going to leave it at that. In fact, we have to dig it out again because it would make for a brilliant bolt action scenario. It really would.
Oh bugger! I've just cut into it.
That's all right. Just say it's a carbine.
What about you, Martin?
I would
take a better broadband connection.
There's nothing wrong with it normally. I'm going to assume
broadband would definitely work.
There's nothing wrong with it normally, but then he's
got good.
Yeah, but you saw how we were connecting it, like through the test socket in the phone. That's not going to help. I would probably take the Infinity rulebook because I love that game, but I would really like to be able to look at a rule on a unit's profile, like jump, and actually know how that works in that game. Because there are so many, it's like jump level 1, jump 2, jump 3, or martial arts level 1, martial arts level 2, 3, 4. I just like to be able to look at it like I can in Black Powder and go, sharpshooter, you just re-roll the dice. I'd actually just like to know it. So I would sit there, learn it, and then come home and never play it. That's probably how it would. How that would go.
Love it.
Yeah. I changed my mind already. I'm going to go with Second World War Anthony. What's his
Beaver.
Beaver or Beethoven or what? Yeah, that's it. His Second World War thing because it's like huge and it's Second World War and it's an enjoyable read. Well, I don't read. Everyone needs to remember these questions. No. Second World War.
No. Oh no.
Yeah. Shocking.
Yeah, I know it's bad, isn't it? I'm really pissed off with myself actually because I've just fudged up one of these figures and I have to put some green stuff or something in there. Here he goes. He's gone again. Tell Hayley to stop downloading.
Duncan FX says a sequence is Operation Barbie Rossa. Evening, Mark.
Evening.
You guys hear me?
Medieval Warriors joined as well. We've got Black Battle Knights and Medieval Warriors has joined, so it's in the
100 Years War. Yes. 100
Years War, boys.
I'm representing.
Can you guys hear me now?
As well?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate.
And Duncan FX as well. Hey guys, welcome aboard the Madhouse.
Duncan.
God, there's so many
You're right,
comments,
Duncan.
I can't read anything. Apparently, I have to use a little hairspray. So Leslie says, I don't know whether that's reference to my hair or whether that's reference to using the little powders. But anyway, probably because I haven't got enough hair to do it. Shave it off all the time.
I was going to say that.
What else we got? Charles Grant Charge was another suggestion from Leslie, which actually is not a bad shout if you're going old school. In terms of books to take onto your island.
No, precisely.
I'll come back to a couple other questions. I'll come back to them in a minute, but let's do the other ones.
Is it all right just to say hello to a couple of people first? Sorry, is it all right?
Yeah,
Sorry,
carry on.
sorry. Just got obviously got Leslie. Rob Jones says hello. Come here, this to say well hit. What's this? Well Hullingdon is he just asked if button counting is the same as rivet counting. It's like yes, but just for a different era. And
we'll get to that. Don't worry.
There's a guy here, Private Kelly. Hello. He wants you to know that he has a Highlander hoodie to carry that. And Matt Mail's here, so hello. And Nick Games as well.
Not the only one.
No, you're not.
I will wear this when we go. Right, it's a commitment from me. Okay, I will wear this to the next convention. Right?
Oh God.
I will wear this. Okay, so when we all go together,
we won't be.
We won't be.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
That word you. Oh my
we can't.
goodness.
It's basically the sentence: "We can't be friends."
I.
Oh
it's the sequences. I'd love to be friends with you, but that bloody shirt.
Hoodie. I love it, mate. It's comfortable as well, and it makes me feel important. Feel royal.
Makes him feel.
Well, Culloden's just turned up as well. So Culloden painters.
Oh, do you, mate?
Right. So that was which one was that? Was that Peter Little's? Was it, or was that Miller's?
That was Peter's little question of the week. There you go.
Wicked.
So Leslie's one. This is a bit more involved, and I'm assuming he's referring to a whole load of things around wargaming rather than general life. So he said, "How are you coping with confinement and COVID? Are you happy gaming with all the requirements of the confinements in your area, and how has the confinement affected your hobbying?"
Right.
I'll pick that one off if you want.
Martin, you can start.
Or Martin kick it off. Yeah, go on, Martin.
What was the first bit again? It's the long one.
How you're coping with your gaming in the COVID world?
Fine.
And confinement, basically.
Fine, because I don't really feel that confined because I was mostly playing with my friends in groups of less than 6 anyway, and there's no. Cambridge is very sort of unaffected. Flat. Yes, it is very flat round here. It's great. You can look for miles.
You can see the zombies coming.
You can. It's just there's no hills to get tired out. No, I'd say yeah. I'm with that one. It's fine. I've gotten used to it. I mean, it was just the initial stuff where we couldn't like go anywhere or see anybody, but we haven't had any sort of harsher restrictions here, so we're all still sort of like respecting the requirements, but still I get a game in every week with my mates. So we've been playing we play different things: Muskets and Tomahawks, Star Wars Legion, Saga. I still play a game a week, and then there's the added bonus that sometimes I might get a visitor come up, or I can get Haley to play as well. So that stuff's been fine.
Steve, you're probably the worst affected because you're up north, aren't you?
Yes, my town is currently under lockdown again.
Lovely.
But I'm an antisocial gift that very, very rarely mixes with real people, so it doesn't really bother me. It's more affected the fact that I can't play bolt action with Ian, my regular opponent. Plus, there's also a new club just opened up in the east of the town, and me and Ian were invited to go along and demonstrate bolt action. So we can't do that. So it's been a bit of a pain in the arse, all told. But I've got so much more painting done. It's been unbelievably good. So, swings and roundabouts. So game reduced. Lots of. apart from that, I'm not one for. There aren't too many clubs or stores around here, so it's not really affected me that much. Like I said, and also being antisocial has been a great benefit as well. So I've been fine.
Ken, go on. I know you flowered in the lockdown, haven't you?
I love the lockdown. I'm like the opposite. I love the lockdown. It's made me hobby more, made me paint more, game less. But at the minute, I'm still managing to get games in because, Martin, not in complete lockdown again yet. Obviously, come up play with you on the Fridays. Quite a few weeks now, haven't we? We've done quite a few now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've done a few.
Long may that continue, I might say.
Yep.
And been up to see Martin. I'm sure I'll be up to see Steve at some point when all this crap's over. We'll all get together and have a game, obviously. But yeah, no, it's gone really well. It's really strange. The lockdown has made me hobby more, which is even weirder, to be fair. So I haven't really minded it. Very strange, isn't it?
I fully agree. I think I'm much the same, to be honest, Ken. I think it's weird. Apart from the initial shutdown when everything stopped, I
just hobbied. Yeah, but I just hobbied.
That's all I did.
All I did.
I mean, someone said to me, "Oh, how is it affecting you?" I'm like, "What? Being sat down, painting, and saving the country at the same time? Count me in."
Yeah, doing my bit.
Yes.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah. Well, everyone else was crying up the rules. Everything was getting bought up, like TVs and all that sort of jazz. We were all rushing out to buy up all the plastic.
Yeah.
To make sure we had enough to get us through the next 6 months. The one time the pile of shame came in use. The one time.
I mean, I'm not belittling anything that's gone on because people have had a bloody tough time.
No,
and to that point, I would say, and I'm sure you guys are exactly the same. If anybody is having a tough time with it, and just wants to have a chinwag, a chat, or what have you, and
that's what the show's here for, isn't it? The show is here for that.
The show was originally started for exactly right. Was just to give us all something to talk about away from the hell that is everything to do with the news at the moment. But
yes.
But yeah, genuinely, I think I've actually had a good, if that's possible, lockdown. I've probably gaming more than I ever have done. Certainly painting more than I've done.
Yeah.
And
I've worked through it all as well, Dom. I've worked through it all, and I work outside. So work outside or in like the data centers and stuff like that, dead ends and.
Same as me though. I've been out because I work outdoors, so it's just been. Well, it's not been business as usual, but I've been able to get out.
Yeah, precisely, and that's what I mean. It's not really that much different, except for you have to wear a face mask and worry about catching a disease, which I really don't want to catch.
No.
But so I'm sad to say it. I'm sure that we are going to be having a second one anyway, a second lockdown, because it's coming up to winter and everyone's going to be getting colds and sore throats and coughs.
Yeah.
So even if people aren't testing positive for COVID, they're going to be having a lot of symptoms of it, even though they've not got it. So I'm sure it will happen. So just make the most of it while you can if you're not in a lockdown area. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, probably right. Actually, Battle Knight says, strange thing is, as a commission painter, I've been very busy. And I've managed to paint some more of my own stuff too. So yeah, similar story. I think again talking to the Perrys were saying the same thing, weren't they? That how busy they've been and
they've had so much business, haven't they?
I think the hobby itself has had quite a boom.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're getting more people.
Like it, and certainly.
Yeah.
You certainly feel that the things like this, us all getting together doing this, all the videos that people are doing online. I mean, I think that's just gone absolutely bananas since the lockdown and since.
Well, yeah, we would never have met each other, would we? We wouldn't have been bothered talking to each other and stuff like that, would we?
Might have happened.
Bloody COVID, eh? I mean, it's got a lot to answer for as well. I mean, like.
Yeah, I now have to talk to bloody Ken. And he comes up and finds us, doesn't he, Martin? It's not fair.
He knows where I live now.
Yes, I do, Martin. Yes, I do. I know where the kebab van is as well, mate.
Yeah.
It's still painful to think about that. Oh, God.
Yeah, I haven't been back since you left.
No, not again. Never again. That was a once in a lifetime treat. I think I nearly had a heart attack. But yeah. No, that was an interesting question. I like that.
Yeah, it's good, that one.
Yeah.
Made me think.
Made you think, didn't it? Yeah. I think it does. It's interesting. You don't want to belittle it. And I always feel a bit guilty talking about, it's actually been quite good because I do know some people have really struggled and some people
Yeah,
have
exactly.
enjoyed sort of nasty things and worse. But I think that's why I say, like you say, Ken, that's why we started this podcast, wasn't it? This video for people to come together and just spend a couple of hours talking about something that wasn't COVID related.
Yeah.
For a few
Well,
hours.
this is it, and it's the same with the chats. If you're in the chat and you're listening to any of our things, just chuck something in there because this isn't a closed chat where us four just have a chat. It's you get involved. You want to say something, say it. And we'll talk about it. It's, if it's hobby related, definitely. So if anyone wants to say anything in the chat or ask questions about, even if because obviously we game at 28 mil. If you want to ask something at 15, you want to ask something at 42, 6 mil, 2 mil, whatever, just do it. Just chuck it out there because I'm sure there'll be like-minded people in the comments that have a chat with you.
Definitely.
Right.
So are we going to do what we've seen this week? Anything new this week? Because I saw Battle Knight said, has anybody picked up the new Lion Rampant Crusaders rules? Personally, no. But I don't know anybody else.
No, I did see those though, but yeah, I'd like to do something in the Crusade. So maybe another project in the future when I've got rid of the next 5 projects.
That will never happen,
I know that Warlords are just brought out a new range, haven't they? For like sort of fantasy side of things, they're pushing that quite hard. I think.
I think it's like a supplement, or it's based around Warlords Vera 1, but it is the background is sort of American mythology.
Yeah.
So a lot of sort of Native American mythology. It's based around that.
I saw the
not really looked at it.
Really cool.
Yeah, the models look really quite nice. It just came from left field, though, wasn't it?
How are they?
You don't like that, do you?
No, horrible stuff.
What's that?
I don't mind it. That Warlord resin.
I haven't used it yet.
I mean, I don't absolutely hate it, but I would not. If I had a choice between resin, plastic, or metal, it would be the third. That's for sure. You
never got the joys though of Citadel Finecast, Dom. You've never had that pleasure.
No.
I'll send you I'll bring a Finecast model up, and you can go. Okay, I'll take the Warlord resin. Is that bad? So yeah. Oh bugger! I cut the wrong one out. But yeah.
You're dangerous, you are.
I've got there's something that I thought people might want to check out. I actually saw even though I said I was trying to avoid Kickstarters last week, there's a Kickstarter that's coming out next month, and I actually written it down because it's by Athena Miniatures, and they are producing a line for the Wars of the Roses. But it's stuff that's just a little bit different. They've got like some nice little vignettes. They've got like a surgeon hacking off someone's leg, and lots of like just other sort of knights who aren't necessarily in sort of attacking or charging poses, which would be quite nice for command stands and things. So I think they're going to Kickstarter next month. So they've got a few Athena Miniatures. Yeah, I just happened to see that yesterday. It just sort of popped up on my feed, and I've now bookmarked it, and I'll be checking that out. So hopefully there'll be something quite cool in there.
Sorry,
I saw something quite interesting. I don't know the name of the company, but it was I can't even remember what group it was on. I was just copied into it on Facebook as a company, and they're doing plastic partisans.
Oh, cool!
Plastic partisans. Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. And they look really rather nice. I think that I'm assuming they're plastic. Somebody did say they were plastic partisans, but yeah, they look quite nice. What I want to do a partisan army. So that might be something I'm going to be looking into. I mean, I was completely woefully unprepared. I can't remember the name of the company or where I saw it. In fact, I may have dreamt it, and I may not even have been telling the truth. But it is out there somewhere.
Either in your brain is somewhere, but yeah. No.
Yeah, lack
sorry.
of coffee.
One thing I did,
Yeah.
I did see that I did actually buy was these things.
Go on.
I don't know if anyone else saw these. These are the Army Painter's new dry brush set.
Oh, I saw.
okay.
Did see a review of those.
Yeah, because I saw what's the lady who does videos?
Yeah, that's
videos.
yeah.
I saw her talking about them.
Sword and Steel or
They
something
needed
like. Is
some
that
paint,
it?
so Sword and Steel. That's it. Yeah. And I ordered these, and they actually seem quite fun. I haven't tried them out yet, but they do look quite good.
They look more like
The only
makeup
thing is
brushes, don't they?
They're exactly like that, but I think the bristles are a bit firmer, which I kind of like.
Okay.
So there, you get 3 sizes. I'm not sure I'd ever use the really big one, or maybe if I do
Terrain,
sometimes
maybe?
I would.
Terrain, or
Say again?
you could use it
Well,
for
possibly
terrain.
terrain. Definitely buildings. And then so you get small, medium, and large one, which is
Okay.
interesting. So I'm looking forward to try them out, but because they did she thought they were really, really good, and the effects seemed to be pretty good. But like you say, Martin, I don't know whether they're any better than a makeup brush. I don't know, but
Well,
I'll
I'd
try
be
'em out.
interested. You should
Try
do,
'em
yeah,
out.
do a review. Let's know how it goes.
Yeah,
Solvent
with,
Abuse
you know,
UK's just turned up, and well, he just said, "Have any of you played Sharp Practice? Dom is your man."
Never played it. Never played it.
Dom's your god. Yeah, Dom's your god for sharp practice, isn't he? Oh my god, I just kit bashed the Perrys.
One of the best rule sets available on the market, I would say, in my humble opinion.
There we go.
Get it.
There you go. Who's just about a review? Just get it. There you go. That's the. What more do you need? Matt Mail says he's a teacher, so as soon as they closed the schools, he ordered an ECW battalion and painted it in 3 weeks. And then Culloden has also said that he's got busier. Will Hullingdon is. I keep on laughing. He says War Games Atlantic are going to do Aztecs and Conquistadors as well, because that'd be quite cool.
Oh, okay.
That'd be something
That'd be interesting.
quite fun.
Yeah, it's a bit different.
Wouldn't it? I had some 20 mil Aztecs and Conquistadors. I can't remember. Probably what's Italia thingies or whatever they're called. I think they did them years ago, and I actually had some home.
Oh, Italieri.
Yeah, Italieri.
Yeah.
That was it. And we developed some homegrown rules for it. It was quite fun. They were lovely to paint as well. Really good fun. Really good fun.
Because Victrix have got Normans coming out, ain't they? As well, which might be hard to resist. Because most of
might finally see my Normans in Sicily army might well develop from that. I'm not sure how I'm going to use it, but I'm really fancy doing that.
That'd be cool. Could you use it in use it in Age of Crusades? Could you do a Saga Age of Crusades thing with that if it's in Sicily? First Crusade.
Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, it's technically not quite right, but yeah, I mean, who the hell cares?
Well, we're gonna get we'll get on to that in a minute. Yeah.
It's not far away, guys. The suspense is hanging.
Do you want to quickly do Miller's question? I know he sent in especially.
Yeah.
And just quickly, just forget.
No, that's cool. I just want to say hi to Tim as well. Tim Bricks. You all right, Tim? Welcome, my friend.
Hi, Tim.
So,
Tim.
Hello, mate. He said...
Oh, Rebel. The Aztecs. There you go. It was Rebels. It wasn't Italia. Sorry.
Okay. That's right. So Miller's question, as he likes to send something to mull on, although is we all like to have a big game with plenty of figurines and have it look like an epic battle. But when does it become too big? Be it having too many units or models to move, or it getting too tight on the board, or it takes too long to move and have a single turn, or be it that there are too many people making it loud and an unplayable mess. What would be your limit on a game? Is it number of people playing or the number of figures that you're playing with?
Oh shit, that's a good one.
Do you know? My take on this is it's a big fat depends. So a lot of it depends on the rule system. So some rule systems are really easy to play massive battles of huge numbers of figures, and you think
Black powder.
with multiple players. Black powder is relatively simple, but again, black powder gets really complicated if it's just one player controlling a big army,
Mm.
Yeah.
because the other player stand around waiting a long time to get their turn.
See, if you split
and I
it up
find
into
that
brigades, wouldn't it? It'd be well good though, wouldn't it?
That's what we
You've
do.
got 3 players playing 3 big games, 3 big wings of an army. That works beautifully.
Oh, and then one general in command. Oh my god.
It's not happening.
Yeah.
Don't even think about it.
I don't honestly think there's a limit to how many people you could have in a game if the rule system will support it. I mean, I mentioned before years ago, I played complete refights of the Battle of Ulm and the Battle of Waterloo and all these sort of things on massive tables across in church halls and things like that with thousands of 28mm figures, and it worked perfectly well. Even having troops on separate tables to bring them in and all this kind of stuff. But you had to have umpires, you had to have multiple
Refs,
players.
yeah, definitely, yeah.
You broke it up into different, so your segment of the table you played against almost one-on-one against the other player. So yeah, I don't know that it could ever. It really depends on the rules, but I think my biggest bugbear with any rule system or any big game is when you have to stand around waiting for the turn. If you have to wait half an hour for your go to go, I'm just like, no, thank you.
You can imagine Black Powder would be quite good like that because you could play it simultaneously. So all 3 of you could, if you're on one side, you could roll for your brigade at the same time, couldn't you? Realistically, because you're controlling that one unit, and you could either choose to go before, so you could just play it simultaneously, or wait to see what your I want to say not competitor, colleague. You were calling me a colleague. Does, or you could just do it all at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, we've done 2 aside, which works quite well, and we each took control of 2 brigades each.
Really good.
Yeah,
I reckon 3 would be quite good. Well, that's what the Perrys do, isn't it?
I think they have even more than that.
I've mentioned before that was it last year, the year before, we played a game of bolt action. It was 2,500 points aside, and I found that to be too big. I just found it to be. It was unwieldy. There was just, I don't know. It took some of the enjoyment away from me because it was lumbering, and it was. I mean, I love bolt actions. It's a great game, but ideally between 1,250 and 1,500 points. But when each person's got 17, 18 dice per side going in that dice bag every turn, it just
too long.
It was just too long. And I don't like. Ideally for me, a game lasts 3-4 hours, and I'm happy with that. But when it becomes it's a long slog. So for me, it's more about sort of time economy and also just size of the game. I prefer smaller games in most games that I play, which is why I used to love playing X-Wing. 4 or 5 ships aside, and you play for an hour. Jobs are good. But with bolt action, now what we do now is we either play 1,000, 1,250, or if either particularly fruity and adventurous, 1,500. Anything above that, I just find it becomes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and firefight as well. That works really well. So even small skirmish level games work, but I think once you start going above 1,500, for me it just becomes you just bog down in dice.
Yeah,
and for me it just takes something away from the overall game.
No, I can see.
I think that's a classic example of some game being forced to be something it's not. I mean, bolt action is a skirmish or at least a small scale action game. You start ramping up to 2,500 points, it's getting into a much more significant game, and you're better off going and play a different rule system for that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no.
The thing, there is a rule actually, Steve, in the rule book for if you want to play big games. They suggest limiting it to 12 dice. So both sides. There is actually a little paragraph in it, because me and Liam read that. If you want to play bigger games, you can, but limit it to 12 dice, then you've got to be more tactical with your decision making of what you're going to move.
So that would make sense. With this, it was basically we was pretty much playing with everything that we had. So there was 17, 18 dice on each side. There was just loads and loads of units on each side, and I don't know. So I just went when the game was finished. I was like that was like a marathon. That wasn't a good game to get through. It was kind of it was just plodding and plodding. Whereas what I like about Bolt Action is, especially if I'm playing, say 1250, when I'm using veteran Germans, I've probably got 7 or 8 dice in the bag, so I know that my turns are going to be quite quick. I like the dynamic of having sort of an outnumbered force in Bolt Action for the most part. But when you've got multiple over 30 dice in the bag, and you just think this is going to be a slog.
Yeah, it's too much. No, you're right.
That's it. Culloden says here that he played in the Great Game when they did in Glasgow, and 22,000 minis, 100 players, but there were very strict time limits on turns and circulating umpires to make because it was black powder that they used to make it all run smoothly. So yeah, but then the thing is, I've often thought about, and Black Powder talks about it, and so does Hail Caesar, like the role of actually having an umpire, a games master, effectively. When you start getting into those big games, to make those decisions so that those rules and those arguments, or not arguments, but those discussions don't happen. He sets the objectives, and then what he says goes for the rest of the game. So that's not a bad plan.
Makes sense.
Leslie says much the same thing. He said they did Leipzig at colours with 10 each side, and it was really difficult. He said he got 2 different ends just to two different ends just completely lost touch. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think you do need big games, like any of those big games. You need umpires. They're essential to keep everything running well.
I think it'd be just as fun to be an umpire as it would to be a player as well.
No, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think, definitely. And Matt Mayle said it here. He said he played a 6-player Bolt Action game, and it was just a long wait for the order dice. So if I think what you said about limiting the number of dice.
Yeah, totally understand that.
When you say you only have 12 dice, do you mean you can only have 12 units or combined?
No, 12 dice.
So you guys have got all your units on the board, but you can only 12 of them are going to receive orders. That's quite cool. I quite like the sound of that.
Yeah. Although here's a really good idea that Travis from Tabletop CP, in sharp practice you've got the tiffin. So when you draw a tiffin, the turn ends. They were doing that with Bolt Action. They put an extra dice in the bag, and if that dice was drawn, that was the end of the turn.
Oh no, that would just wind me up. That would be. What if they pull out the whole of the enemy or most of the enemy's stuff, and you're like, right, here come all my dice, and then you pull that out, and you're like, you what?
Well, I saw that battle, and that's exactly what happened, wasn't it? There was one guy, and he literally had moved 1 unit. And I think it was the Russian hadn't moved anything, and the German had moved virtually everything.
Whoa.
And then the turn ended. But I think they had 2, didn't they? Had one. I can't remember what happened on one turn end, but then it was the second one that was an absolute finish. That's it. And it was very good idea.
It's just it's just like when you rolled all those moves, Martin, in our game. You failed all your your order checks.
Yeah. Good job I won though, innit? Because otherwise, I'd start getting a complex, isn't it? and as comes to it,
that doesn't work if you lost.
Yeah.
I don't care. I went down fighting, and I don't care. The 95th round off the board, no one's ever done that. Hey, he's not even done that, and I've done it, so I'm happy. On my first game, I might add. Oh, God, I built that battalion. Jeez Louise, it's done. Bloody hell.
Oh, go on then. By the end of the stream, you might have it painted.
Kaiser says, my take on this is to look at the number of units. 5 is probably too small. 10 is too many. Around 6 to 8 is an optimal number. More units means more moving and a lot more thinking.
Yeah.
Yes, but no. But yes, but no. I think.
Yeah. If you're Russians, you need at least 12 dice.
And it also depends on the rule system again. Some units, some move en masse. So you could have 100 units, but they only move as one big chunk.
Well, that's the thing in Black Powder. You can always just order a brigade, just do a brigade order, and then the whole lot moves together. You've just got to be. I think that comes down to being confident. Yeah, And
You
also
gotta
who
be
you're
confident
playing.
with that dice.
For me, it's got to be who you're playing with as well. Because with the sort of group of friends here and with you guys, really quite happy to do it. Because as I'm sure we're about to come on to, we're quite laid back and quite chilled, and you're not going to sit there worrying about an inch. Whereas if you're in a sort of maybe in a more competitive environment, I could see it just becoming incredibly dull, incredibly fast.
Yes,
Well,
that's
I
a
mean,
very good
again,
segue, isn't it?
and lead on.
Right,
Point
ladies
of
and
shit.
gentlemen.
Load him up.
So, as you see, tonight's controversial topic is button counting, and do we need it in hobbying? It's a bit of a touchy subject because obviously there are people out there that will button count to ridiculous levels, which I've experienced this week.
So explain what you mean, Ken, by button count.
Right.
What
so
do you mean by
basically,
button counting?
Can
Right,
I
button
just
count.
sorry? Can I just butt in before Ken gets on a roll? Because my wife has just written on here, just to everyone, seeing as she shared it with the 16 people watching my stream. She apparently said that you should always worry about an inch, and then she's disappeared. Dropped that, and then just buggered off. I'm going to put her on one of your streams. She can go on one of your streams. She can go on there.
Should be nice
We
to
always
us.
rely on Hayley to come in with the witticisms and the insightful comments, and then bugger off.
She made me sausage sandwiches, and they were nice.
Right.
And
Sorry
they
about that.
me.
Yes. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. So button counting is going over the top for accuracy on a 28 millimeter or whatever millimeter miniature. And when I mean going over the top, I mean talking about anything from the number of buttons to the specifically colors of things. So if you haven't got the right shade of green, or for example, the trim on a backpack was a certain shade of brown compared to a certain thing, or saying you can't have your horses that color because they don't have them that color. I experienced this quite nastily this week. Well, I thought it was quite nastily, but I'll take it on the chin, even though it's really, really pissed me off. And I'm sure it pissed a lot of people off. And it, more than anything, when it happened to me, it made me not want to put more painting videos up on YouTube. Because I thought, well, bugger this then. Because it wasn't I don't mind constructive criticism. Please be constructive. But when someone just slates your work for no reason other than it's not correct, it really pisses me off. And I don't know what other people feel like that. How do you feel about 1945 Luftwaffe Field Division, Steve?
To be fair, that was really the only one. That's the only example that's ever really got under my skin, because I was fully aware. I wasn't going into it like some kind of I'd like to know that I know one or two things about the German army in World War II, and so to have things quite obviously pointed out to me that I already know. Yeah, I mean it pisses me off. It can do, but like conversely, what I said when we were talking about it on Saturday is whenever I've put any World War II painting videos on my channel, there's been times when people have pointed out certain things but it's always been done in the spirit of how it should be delivered. It should be it's at the end of the day it's your work.
Constructive,
isn't it? And they'll often point me to a resource or say it wasn't quite like that, but it still works. But if you're gonna see something that, I mean, by your own admission, me and Ken haven't been painting Napoleonics that long.
No, less than 3 weeks.
Yeah, we're very much novices at this, and it's quite a specialist sort of area, both in history and wargaming. And so, I mean, it takes guts to put yourself out there, what you've painted, because there's some proper harsh people out there, and I was warned earlier this year about Napoleonics that it can be quite an elitist subject, and there are people that are going to pick up on every little inaccuracy or mistake that you make. I don't see why. I don't see why. No. At the end of the day, these are 28mm figures that when you play a game
They're
of Black
toys.
Powder, yeah, and they're going to be en masse on a table. No one's going to pick out because this one guy out of 400 has got a different coloured trouser than he should have done. He should have done 4 years later. It just, for me, and the most dangerous aspect of it for me is that, like you said, it was demotivating. It was like
massively.
Yeah. So if someone is new to the hobby, any aspect of the hobby, and they go out there and they take the step, it's a big step showing people what you've painted, and you'd like to think that people would respond in kind and say, a bit of encouragement. But to go in with like size 14 boots and just stomp all over someone's work gets my goat. And that's my rant over.
Yeah. You wouldn't get it on different subjects, but I don't understand why it's so rife within Napoleonics. I don't understand it because at the end of the day, I'm painting a toy soldier to be able to play with my friends a game of bolt action. That's what I'm doing, right? And do you know what really pissed me off more than anything else? Is I even found like resource material. I purposely looked up what this battalion looked like, and I painted it to the best of my ability to what I saw. Right? I even like copied colours and everything like that, and I was still like just completely told you're wrong. Everything's wrong about it. Not you've done a okay paint job or anything like that. It wasn't that. It was just your work's wrong. I was like, okay, but I wasn't putting it there for that. I was putting it there for how's my paint job? Do you like the paint job? It's there as a guide to basic guide for everybody. It's not there to be this is this battalion at this period of time for this and this is spot on. It's there if someone wants to, like me or like Steve, is new to Napoleonics and thinks, what the hell is a greatcoat? How do I paint one and what colour was it? There you go. And yeah, that was the worst thing about it all. I think was more the fact is I actually found historical references, and then I was told it was wrong anyway.
Well, as anybody knows who studied any kind of history, is that historians make a living out of arguing about things that one person says is fact, and the next one will come along and say it's not. So I'm not altogether surprised that people don't necessarily agree with what other people have said. That just is by the by. But I honestly don't know what it is about Napoleonics, and it does seem to be Napoleonics over any other period, particularly where this happens more than anything else.
You don't really get it in ancients, then, Dom. Does that not happen in ancients very much, or is it more?
Really, I mean, at the end of the day, ancients are wearing armor and linen and not an awful lot else, really. So it's not an awful lot that can happen. I mean, I guess it sort of might happen a bit in medievals because you get the different period. I've had that before with sort of somebody did the other day actually on one of my older videos where I was showing off that never mind the Bill Hooks rule set. We played a game, me and Jonathan, and someone said, "Oh, I assume you weren't playing 100 Years War then." Because or something to that effect, because I just used the medieval figures I had, which weren't the right period. They were the Baron War.
Yeah, Baron War sometimes, didn't they?
And Jonathan was where it was using, I think it was 100-year figures against it, and of course the rules are supposed to be War of the Roses. But I just think they really just need to get a life, frankly. People like that. At the end of the day, as you say, it's toy soldiers playing. If you were putting yourself up as a historical, a serious piece of research, and you got it completely wrong, I could understand that. Somebody coming in and saying, I think you got that wrong, or blah blah blah.
If you said, even if you said this is this unit from this specific time period, and you've gone out your way to say this is historically accurate, but I didn't even do that. I just put it up there. Who likes greatcoats? This is how I paint them. Here's a step-by-step guide if you're interested.
I think it's definitely one of those dangers of when you do videos, isn't it? Because you do put yourself up for it.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
I don't mind. But I don't mind criticism as long as it's constructive. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
I don't. Someone's entitled to their opinion, isn't they? Anybody's entitled to.
They're
and
happy to moan about everything.
But I'm a YouTuber, so I expect that. okay, I expect to have my work criticised. You know, I expect people to hate it. I expect people to like it, and then I expect people to hate it. But it's more the fact of, like Steve said, there was a really, I mean, there was a really well painted. What was it, Steve? Was it a guy on a horse, was it, or a grenadier or something like that? What was it?
Oh yeah, that one. It's the one Martin posted. Yeah.
Oh, it was fantastic. Looked absolutely incredible. And then straight away, first comment under it, it wasn't, oh, well done. It's, oh, you didn't do this right.
The bear skin
I'm
was
thinking,
the wrong shade.
Oh,
yeah, it was
oh
the
my
white
God.
bear skin, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The trumper. That was it, wasn't it? They didn't have what. Oh, I was just like, oh my God. I was thinking, Jesus Christ. I was thinking, surely in a battlefield situation, anyone at any point might have just picked up the wrong bearskin, for God's sake. You know, but yeah, I just thought that. And to be fair, his painting was absolutely sublime. It was so good. And I was thinking, and he's still getting pulled out for it. And I was thinking, why does anyone ever post anything?
Well, I suppose that's part of it. I mean, obviously, I'm not. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I saw the comments and also the other comments that have been posted on similar things, and it's happened to me as well. But I suppose the thing is that I guess in Napoleonics, I mean, there's a lot more information about Napoleonic uniforms than there is about, for example, Carthaginian stuff, because it's more recent in terms of history. But a lot of people seem to, the people who get really into it, like the uniforms, I think they almost see themselves as like custodians of this information.
Napoleonic.
I mean, you know, and some of them have written books.
That's a really good way of putting it.
And
yeah, they have. Yeah.
you know, but you know, I think it's just been about measured. Now, you know, I like to think, a bit like Steve said, he's learned some things about, well, he knows about German uniforms. I like to think that I know, you know, a fair bit about the Wars of the Roses and the people who took part in it. But if someone wanted, you know, I would never. I think it's just how you conduct yourself, really. You know, because you can
call yourself an expert.
I wouldn't call myself an expert, and certainly if someone put up a video, I'd never go into there and slam it. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff with Nevermind the Billhooks coming out, and there's some great stuff on there. But I've not gone on there and gone, Warwick didn't use a double-handed sword because he would have been, you know, that's not how he would have fought, and blah blah blah. Because ultimately, all we're doing is an interpretation and a representation. If you were going to do it, your battalion, Ken, you should have done 500 men. And then, you know, you should have, you know, then, you know, we should have made sure that mix. Are you doing it in 1815? Well, the ground wasn't clearly muddy enough for 1815. That needed to be muddier. You don't get that kind of clay in Belgium. You know, like what? What do you?
Where do you stop?
You know, ultimately, if you're happy with them, but then this is the thing: if we share them on a public forum, then there will be people who comment, you know, who comment on that. That's the thing. But like you say, you'd hope it would be constructive, but unfortunately, it's not always.
And it's not even so much for me. It's for other people. It's for people that aren't, you know, YouTubers and don't expect it. Just after some advice, you know, and then you get given that, and it's like, oh, that's really horrible.
My ultimate concern would be one comment has the ability to drive someone away from the hobby.
Mm.
Yeah,
that to me is a kind of worrying and frightening thing, that someone they may be new, they've only
just started. It's their first model.
Exactly. The thing is, though, I think we all agree that at the end of the day, there are figures. We use our money to pay for them. We've got the right to paint them any bloody way that we want to.
Tempted to paint one pink, Steve, and just go on there and just say, "This is my." I didn't. I resisted.
This is my representative.
Don't start about pink. I'm worried about it. Stop.
He shouldn't be. He shouldn't be.
Just paint Napoleon in the wrong uniform. Do that. Go the ultimate.
Oh God.
Pay him as a British. Shall I pay him as a British officer?
The internet would explode with. Oh my God. I do think it's absolutely right. And, you know, so again, it's about how people do it, right? So, you know, I posted the video about the Cleveburg battalion I was put together, and someone really nicely came back and said, you know, looks nice, really good figures, but, you know, just so you know, and explained all the things he'd researched about it, which got me really interested and made me do even more research. And I realised some of the stuff I'd got wrong in the first one, and I've since rectified it. But it is about how people do it, and I agree with you, Steve. It pisses me off if somebody is put off by doing something.
That's the ultimate problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is the problem, isn't it? And I think that puts people off starting Napoleonics. That puts people off, doesn't it? Starting it because they know that they're going to be criticised, and it's not fair. It's bloody not fair. And people,
to be fair, that
people
when I posted that first Napoleonic video back in January during the winter warmer, as soon as I hit publish, I literally braced myself for the impact about what was going to happen. I expected the sort of virtual online equivalent of a Doc Martin to the temple, because mine aren't in no way, shape, or form are they anywhere near historically accurate. But I like how they're painted, and that should be the end. I was literally expecting carnage, and thankfully, virtually everyone was really nice about it. In fact, people were so positive. It was like it's nice to see you painting something that isn't World War II, or they knew it wasn't. I was completely outside my comfort zone, and people were like, "No, well done for having a go." And I was like, you know what? That's the response you should get. I didn't get anyone saying, "Well, those buttons are the wrong color," or that style of coat wasn't around that time, or because that would have been. I
just know not to post in this specific group anymore.
That's
what stopped me from doing. And it's a shame, really, because I bet there's some nice people in that group.
There are. I mean, I said last week I got some really good advice out of that very same group. I know you posted that too, just as I went on and asked a question, and there was some really helpful stuff sent in. Incredibly knowledgeable, but I don't know why they have to be such dicks around certain things. Actually, Paul Richardson just made the point. He said, if you want button counters, try reenactors.
I just had someone's just said something similar here.
And he also points out that 40k and fantasy can be just as bad.
They can. I was going to say, one of my friends, we were playing in Games Workshop way back, and when you were still allowed to kind of do that with your own armies and use your own homemade terrain. Leaving that alone. And he had Blood Angels, and I remember the guy in the store basically telling him that it was the wrong kind of red, that it was because he kept painting them quite bright, like they were very, flashy. I thought they looked good, and he decided to put like a gloss varnish on them, so they had that kind of lacquered armor kind of effect, and they looked really cool. But this store manager or minion or whatever he was seemed to take some kind of personal offence, and he got as far as like my friend basically just we packed up in the end. I think we got to about turn 4, but it just the guy would just every now and then I remember he actually came over with a bottle of Blood Angels Red, the old Blood Angels Red. Not the contrast one, and he was like, look this, and like, believe it or not, that actually happened. I couldn't believe it. But you've said,
to be fair, the store down by mine's all right. They're not too bad now because they want you to go in there and spend money. But no, they're quite nice actually now. I've got to admit, the Games Workshop down in Portsmouth, they're actually really good, and they're really helpful and really friendly. You can go in there and ask them for stuff. So I will give them that. I will give GW that.
They do. Well, I don't think that. I mean, that would have been around about the year 2000 or something like that. That would have been quite a long time ago.
Yeah, it's changed,
But you've definitely set the comments off. You've definitely got it going.
Excellent.
So.
I'm just going to read one of mine before you guys start, because you'll go into a thing. But I've got 2 here. So I've got Steve Reese he's put because he does 6 money. Put, bet they wouldn't say that to your face either. Who do they think they are? This is exactly why people shy away from wargaming. I appreciate any help or ideas, and if I don't like them, I keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
And then Steve Pritchard's put, do you find it when weather is bad, you get more painting done as chucking it down right now? Yes, Steve. Yes. Definitely, Stephen. 100%.
Yeah.
So go on.
I can't get out and spray my fingers because it's bloody raining.
Oh, that's what I had to do tonight. I had to go in the shed, but I nearly gassed myself. So I had to beat a hasty retreat. So what have they said? You should try. Where are we? Sorry. Yeah, you get rivet counters as well. That's true. Or when what's the World War II ship game that came out a couple of years ago? The Warlord one. Cruel
Oh,
Seas.
Cruel Sea.
Cruel Seas.
I remember a lot about that. I remember because I left one of the groups on there because it just got ludicrous. People got very upset, but again, I think it's because a lot of people know a lot about these boats and about these ships,
It's
and
they're
they
modern and
and
there's
they.
a lot of information.
But
on
it's
them.
not a scale. It's not a accurate scale model. It's a representation for a war game. You could just have a block of wood and move that around, like
Yeah.
you know. Um,
That's-
yeah, Tim Bick said if you think war games are bad, try reenactors. Mareki's just said hello from Poland. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Murky.
Solvent Abuse says wargaming is full of elites. Best to get a thick skin. Scale modelling is much worse. I can believe that.
yeah, I can as well.
Well Hungending has said, but what kind of boots did the French pioneers wear in the retreat from Moscow? They ate them, didn't they? I don't.
Yeah, I think they did.
What they
They're
Tim
all
Bick?
dead by then.
Yeah,
Polish and Germans that were holding it all together for them.
they're all kebabbed, weren't they? On
Yeah.
like the lances. Someone said what nitpickers forget about uniforms is they're not uniform. Miller's here. He says that he puts videos up, one to record himself so he can remember what he's done, and two to if I tell someone that I war game, I can show them what I do, and I never claim to be good at anything. So I mean that's the thing, isn't it? You're just kind of sharing your hobby, I guess, on top of it.
Yeah.
One here, Ken, that you did. Someone said different makers, different dies, different age, wear and tear. Like when you did your 100 Years War stuff, you know, you reasoned it out that the die would be different, and that's why I paint brown trousers occasionally and things in with my French. You can't tell me that they had all of that. They managed to keep all their issued uniforms safe, and then they didn't nick or steal or buy from the locals. That didn't.
Well, this is what I've decided to do now, Mike, and that comments properly put me onto that because I did it like pristine how I thought it would be. So I've done a battalion like that now. Now it's time to go mixed in with everything and go more realistic in regards to how it would have been on campaign. So I think I'm going to go down that route this time.
Yeah.
The next couple of
Do you know
ones.
that the French would have had lots of brown trousers because they
No.
Just on a point that Miller said about about his comment. If I do anything that's painting related, I never label it as a tutorial.
You say how I paint
this
it.
Is how I
Yeah.
This is how I paint it. Because there's a million different ways of doing the same thing. I think you are leaving yourself open to massive levels of salt.
Yeah.
If you dare claim it's a tutorial. So no, it's something I've always avoided doing because I mean I'm an average painter, but I like to think that I can develop some certain techniques that people can use.
Yeah.
I mean that's the way I look at it. I mean it's all about sharing your knowledge, sharing the hobby. I mean, another point would be about the Napoleonics. Do you think it's an edge of competition? Who can come out with the most obscure crap?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. Do you know?
Knowledge is king, isn't it?
I think people love to lord it over themselves. I think the thing about Napoleonics is there is a lot written about it, but not a lot of it is very accurate. It's been written. There's multiple sources that don't necessarily all agree, which leaves huge opportunity to open
interpretation
to interpretation and all this kind of stuff. And I think I don't. I know you get it in all other periods to some degree, but it does seem to be worse in Napoleonics, and I don't know why that is particularly so. But I think you're right, Steve. I think one of the things is if you say tutorial, there's a degree of you're opening yourself up to it.
Yeah.
I do think you've got to be very careful and say, this is how I did it, or this is an easy guide to how to paint.
Yeah, don't say tutorial. Yeah, I stopped saying
say,
tutorials in my videos. Yeah, I've stopped doing that a while ago.
Yeah, it's just. But there are so many fools out there to it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we've all encountered them, haven't we? I definitely have.
Yeah, I think it's just more of the fact of like you just get nitpicky things. It's like we had is same similar thing. It's like you can't have your horse painted that color because they were never issued with those type of horses. It's like the fuck you going on about?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Matt Mayall's just made a good point in here. He says once they're covered in mud, blood, and smoke soot, they're all the same colour. That's yeah, definitely. And Tim Bix just said he's dreading his first game because he sees other people's figures because he's only literally started painting in July, and I could understand why that could put someone off. But if you've painted them and put them out, that's brilliant. The fact that you've actually you're creating something is brilliant, and you shouldn't let anybody.
If anyone tells you otherwise that you're painting shit, they're not worth playing with. For a start, don't ever play with them. Yeah, just walk away from the game. Don't even play them. Don't waste your time. Piss them off by not playing. That'd be even better. That's what I'd do. If someone said my painting was shit, see you later, mate. You ain't getting a game this week, then,
yeah. Ewan and Aaron Lowe says GW was fine. They've always been kind and giving tips. Yeah, they are. I'd say 99% of the time. Again. Beckus has just turned up. Hello, mate.
Yeah, Paul.
And
right? When you said Beckus, I thought you meant not Paul Beckus. I thought you meant Bacchus is in the 6 mil. I was thinking, hey,
Bacchus are here. Yeah, let's talk about historical accuracy on 6 mil.
That's just your guilt, Ken, that you haven't painted. All it is.
I know. Yeah, they're next month. It's fine. It's fine. Mate, I'll tell you what. I am doing all right for my hobby challenge of getting these bloody Napoleonics done. I'm doing okay. I'm pretty happy with my progress. If I can get them done, I'll be happy.
Through some of the comments here as well. So, Bill Roy says, "Ken, whoever it was, ignore them in capital letters." That's right. Battle Knight said in a Lion Rampant battle report that me and Johnny B were doing, some guy was lecturing us about that Richard was called Lionheart, not John, who was his brother. Yeah, you know, in the heat of a battle as well, when you're doing battle reports and you say something and it's just wrong, it's like,
yeah,
it's just idiots. Ken, you and the other guys on here have a laugh. You enjoy it. I wonder how often the guy shares a laugh with others. My bet's not very often at all.
It's very true.
Yeah,
it's very true.
Very, very true.
Especially when it seems to be this person is commenting on every single picture that ever goes up on this certain page, and it's like, and someone's asked me to name and shame, but I won't do that. I'm not going to name and shame. No. That's why we're just saying a certain channel.
One thing is also we mustn't tar a whole community with the same brush just because of one.
Precisely, that's what this precisely. It's
very true.
There is some really
not everybody. There's some really helpful people out there.
Yeah.
It's just there are a couple of very vocal idiots.
Yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it? You can be passionate about what you do and share that information and be constructive and helpful and make suggestions. I mean, ultimately, it comes down to personality, then, doesn't it? I mean, that's got nothing, And in every hobby and in every walk of life, you're going to meet arseholes, for lack of a better phrase.
no, exactly.
Yeah.
Completely. Anyway, I think we've done this one, haven't we? We've done this one, I think.
No, exactly. But I was just going to say one more. No, that's right. I was just going to say one more thing. There are people out there that are button counters that want their uniforms to be historically accurate, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's when you then put that onto other people and feel like you have to force them to do it. That's the wrong part. There is nothing wrong with having historically accurate miniatures. I think it would be really cool if you could have them precisely historical. It wouldn't bother me, but don't force it on other people because some people just don't want to know. Simple.
I agree, Ken, and I've banged on a lot about trying to get my Cleveberg troops to fit a particular brigade in a particular period of time in the Napoleonic period because I want them to look like that, but I'm not going to get anal about it. It's ridiculous. But I think we've banged on about this a lot, but it's just about attitude and how you do it. and what are you absolutely unforgivable is to put people off gaming or doing
Yeah.
it, period. Because you're
But don't worry, there'll be more Napoleonics on Miniature Wargaming Warriors just to piss that button counter off.
So how are we feeling about
dear.
the coronavirus as our next topic?
The what? Sorry, hobby and the what? Coronavirus.
How do you feel about solving the whole world peace and coronavirus situation as our next discussion?
What, we're going to send Ken to do it?
Yeah,
Maybe you should send me to
Don't-
negotiations with the EU. Maybe.
I thought you were going to say negotiations with the virus. I was like, what you...
Hello, Boris. My name's Ken, and I like wearing a Henry V hoodie. So, what can I do to make you precisely go away? I've got good friends here that I want to meet up with and go for a pint with, and I can't. It's not on.
Not good enough.
No,
Not good enough.
no, dear.
Oh my goodness. So I'm having some right fun here, talking about doing weird shit. I think I've got a problem, boys. This will not surprise you in the slightest. I've
You got too many models.
Many problems. Yeah, no. You can never have too many models.
No.
You know that. I have this obsession, as you know, of not doing French troops. So
Yes, you do.
I've got into a complete obsession now about doing anything other than French. So at the moment, I am painting Portuguese Legion, which was in the French army because it's French, and it's a French body with a British head on it. And I'm getting this, and I was sitting here just painting these and thinking, this is a problem. And I know in my box I've got a whole load of Polish. I'm planning some Swiss. Anything but bloody French. What do I do?
Are you just worried about painting them? Is that what the thing is? You don't like the blue?
No, I don't want to be French. That's all.
Well, you don't have to be. You can paint them, then sell them to me. There you go.
You're like, but I need to introduce you to my daughter then, Dom, because my daughter's come home from school and I don't know what they've taught her, but she just come up to me and went, "You're French," and I went, "No, I'm not," and she went, "Be quiet, French," and then just walked off. I was like, "I'm not French." "Yes, you are. I'm a little girl and you're French." Like, what's wrong with that? I don't understand what they've taught her. I can't work out what.
Do you know what's even funnier? I've met your daughter, and that would actually be so funny because I can imagine her saying it to you.
I know.
I haven't met your daughter, but having just seen Haley in action, I can see that she takes after your daughter takes after Haley. I can see that instantly.
My daughter is a very well-rounded individual with some like. So if you ask my daughter what her favourite song is, if she doesn't say the Crazy Frog song from the year 2000, she'll tell you it's the Red Triangle song. And you might go, "Well, what's that?" The Red Triangle song is by Rotting Christ, and it's just their adaptation of The Raven, but it's just got a red triangle on the music video. So I'm looking forward to getting a call from the school.
That is such a good song, though.
Goodness.
I know, it's brilliant.
It's a really,
I know.
really fantastic song.
I know. What a band.
Parent-teacher evening for you is going to be very interesting with what she comes out with. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm not. I found it funny until my cousin who works at the school has been like, they're gonna call you in. You know that, right? Like, oh no, like they're gonna be serious.
I love it.
Oh dear.
Beckus has just said Napoleon is our one true emperor.
He's a good man. He's a good man.
Go back to your chips, Paul, for God's sake.
And Damjans just asked me what I'm painting. Is it more Burgundians, he hopes? No, it's lots of Carthaginians to try and meet my challenge for the end of October. So nothing but ancients this month.
Ancients. You're all over it, Martin, aren't you?
Yeah, I've nearly done 2 units, and I've got 4 to go and 2 elephants.
You'll get it done.
Yeah, I should do.
Saving the elephants up for a special.
I'm going to do...
Saving a number of infantry or something.
Yeah, I'm going to do 3 bases of infantry, then an elephant, and then the other 3 bases of infantry, and then an elephant. And then I realised I haven't got a commander, so I'm trying to find a nice-looking Carthaginian commander that's not Hannibal. I've got this thing against doing you know, like special characters, if you like, or actual personalities. I don't know why. I've got this kind of. I only do them when I've got like enough. Like I only did Napoleon and Wellington when I'd done like about 6 or 7 other command bases. I don't know why. I've just kind of got this like mental block against it. I don't want to do Hannibal. I want to just have like a Carthaginian commander.
Very,
You might want to
very
check
nice
out,
stuff.
I was going to say Gripping Beast have got some. I think it's called Mercenary Commanders. There's 2 of them in a pack. A little bit expensive, but
Yeah,
they're really nice looking figures.
Funny enough, I was actually looking at those. Is it a gamer? They make one. They've got Hannibal's brother Mago, who's wearing like a big lion skin with like a dog like on a lead that's jumping, which looks quite cool.
Nice.
It's a bit different. I suppose the other thing you could always do is just build up some plastic kits and just make some people pointing. That generally seems to work.
Well, I mean, if it was Steve, he'd get some sort of from a American paratrooper unit, mold it onto a French infantryman, and stick a sword in his hand, and that'd be it.
He would.
Stuff.
Speaking of kit bashing, I'm currently painting that flamethrower that I sent pictures of today.
Oh, that was wicked.
I am really pretty chuffed with how this is turning out. It's I don't know. No, do you ever make something and think that's good?
Fuck yeah,
that is real. Yeah. This actually looks like a figure that should be part of a kit. I'm really, really chuffed with it. So happy.
Hello, Warlords, my old friend. It's called Commission. That's what you want to do, Steve.
I am making a video about this sort of a sort of hobby blog on making a winter flamethrower for my Germans. So I was a bit concerned it wasn't going to work, but now I've got some paint on it. It looks spot on. It really does. I'm so chuffed.
Let's see. Someone said, has anyone tried Clash of Spears?
I've got the rules, but I still haven't had a game of it, and I really want to because it does look cool.
You can play that, Dom, if you want. What is it? Like
Ancients.
my Gauls?
Ancient skirmish, yeah.
I use my Gauls?
Skirmish. Yeah, you can use your Gauls in that, for sure.
Yeah.
Give that a go if you want at some point.
Really good. I'd love to have a go one day. I'll give you, when you next come up, maybe we'll sort something out on that. I have to read the rules first, but it's they are supposed to be doing a medieval version of it, aren't they? Or
yeah,
Dark Age version.
No, I think they're doing medieval, but they're doing 2 at once, aren't they? They're doing medieval, or is that might be someone else? No, I think it was them. They were going to release 2. They're going to do medievals and then maybe Aztec-y stuff, or maybe I'm getting confused with someone else. I'm sure that was them.
Could be. They did a scenario book just recently, didn't they? I think, which I haven't got yet because there seemed no point. My problem is it came out exactly the same time as SPQR, and everybody down my club bought SPQR, and then we all binned it because it was such an utter pile of shit. And I couldn't then get anybody motivated to play Clash of Spears because it was
play Ancients.
Everyone else did something else instead. So it's a real pain in the ass because I think they look really good, and I did buy into the Kickstarter when they launched them. And I've watched videos of people playing it. It does look quite good because it's based on fatigue and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So as you do more and more things, groups get more and more tired. And also, if they're wearing loads of armor, they get tired quicker, which I think is kind of a neat little system.
Works quite well, that sounds, Tom, to be fair.
Well, I would have thought so.
Be nice to actually get use out of my ancient stuff.
I didn't even know you had some ancients, so there you go.
Yeah, I've got all the Gauls for the SPQR set, so I've got 40.
Did you buy it as well? Did you?
Yeah. 40 spearmen and swords, and 20 archers and a commander.
Did you not know Dom at that point?
Nope. Didn't know any of you.
No. I would have told him it was a pile of doo-doo.
To be fair, we bought it mainly because it was a lot of models for the money. It's for 35 quid at the time. You get all that model and rule book, and it just seemed like a good deal. Well, it was too good to be true, wasn't it? It was broken. It was good if you were the Gaul player.
Yeah, it's true. If you played Roman, you were screwed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what yeah, generally what I read, because I was really interested in it, and then I just found this video that someone had made, so I watched, and then that put me off, and then I watched that video
It
everyone
wasn't
laughed.
legal.
Yeah, it was you.
I'll definitely the thing is, there's a version 2 coming out. Okay, I'll definitely give it a go. I'll give it a go. I'll give them a chance. They've got a chance to have learned, and Warlord seem like a company that learn their lessons quite well. So maybe this time they're actually play test it, which would be.
I felt that all that happened with it was that they tried to rush it out because they knew that Infamy was coming, and they knew that Clash of Spears was coming, and I think they wanted to get out ahead of it, and they wanted to get into the market quickly, and they just didn't test it properly. I don't know that for sure, but that's my feeling.
Feels like it, doesn't it?
It just had that written all over it. It hasn't had enough playtesting.
What someone's.
It was interesting. Did you see Nick's video where he was
Yes.
interviewing Rick Priest, and he asked him about playtesting, and he said, "I don't believe it." What did he say? Something about I don't believe in playtesting. It's I just give it to a few friends just to try out, because he said the trouble is playtesters will always pick holes in, would find it their sort of duty to destroy the system, which I thought was an interesting perspective. Interesting interview.
Yeah. Damjan's just asked us. He'd like to if he wants to show us some pictures of anything, we can send him. Can you send them to the email address to the which I've now forgotten what it is?
Yeah, the Plastic Crack Podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah, and then we
you can send them there, or you can send them in the Miniature Wargaming Warriors Facebook, and I can upload them onto the thing anyway. Cool. Whichever's easier for you.
No, I sent decent stuff. We've got what else they said? What do we think about armies that didn't wear uniforms like Dark Ages or 80 Years War? Because this is Manjakva or the Manjak. That's confusing. Manjak.
What do I think about them?
Yeah, because they don't really appeal to him.
About it.
Yeah, I think. So I think it might.
Interpretation, really. That's like the ultimate canvas, really, isn't it? You can do them however you like.
But I think some people get a bit thrown, don't they? Because they're like, how many combinations can I make out of these 4 colours or something? I don't know. I like them.
You ever heard of green stuff's great, isn't it, for that sort of thing? You can imagine just sticking cloaks and bits and bobs all over things, and I could imagine that would be quite an interesting subject. But it depends how deep you want to go into it, don't you? Because you could really, really go deep and think about each individual model and think, okay, what's the family tree behind this model? Is this a guy that's been passed down his armor through generations, or has he got brand new armor? You could just do all that sort of stuff, couldn't you?
Yeah.
So that's the sort of thing I love doing. So talking about the ill-fated SPQR, not getting again honest. But for that, I built a Greek army based around a particular city that I went to in Crete, which I absolutely loved, and it was basically a Cretan force, and I built it around it. And so I mixed in, which is completely wrong period in time, but some Minoan figures into the hoplites, and sort of kit bashed a little bit, not to Steve's degree. I won't say kit bashed, but I did sort of fiddle around with a few figures and get them to look a bit different, just because for exactly that point, thinking, well, it was a bit of a backwater. It wasn't a big backwater, but assuming it was a bit of a backwater, and some of the guys had helmets or shields that have been passed down the generations, it might well have still looked like an old Minoan helmet. Plus it was kind of cool. It was the rule of cool, so it looked good in the block. I kind of like building that kind of narrative in an army of any sort. It's just sort of, kind of, especially with ancients, I think you can do it. And ancients and Dark Ages, you can do it very much easier. You can, and like you're doing with your Carthaginians, Martin. It's you're building them, making them look as you would imagine they would have looked, having come over the Alps and or been in the snow and the ice of the foothills of the Alps, and that's really cool. I think I love that kind of thing in any kind of army you build, or Second World War when you're building a particular something set in the snow and the ice, and you build everything to look like that. I think it's great. That's really good fun.
Yeah,
It's funny you should mention that, Dom. I've been with repainting my winter Germans. I've been looking for a sort of authentic background to them. So I've settled on the 144th Infantry Division, the Hochhund Deutschmeister from Austria. They were actually when I used to play Flames of War, they were the exact same regiment that I used to use for Flames of War. So this is a bit attention to detail. Any guys that have got helmet decals on, I'm going to go in and repaint them to the correct color. That should be interesting.
Good luck with that.
God.
He's a detail brush.
Jeez.
Yeah, you put them on for a start. Fair play.
Yeah, well, the helmet decal, the helmet badge that the 144th uses, it's the same shape, so they kind of the same shield, but it's white and red. So just got to go in and do it. They're not on all the figures, obviously, but just want to make it a bit historically accurate. So if anyone points out that they're wrong, I can say, "Wow, no, they're not. They're right." Getting back to rivet counting there, or helmet decal counting, as it were.
Yeah. Do you know what? You say that there is also a new. I forgot to mention in the news that Warlord have now bringing out different water decals, aren't they, for like Croatians and all that sort of jazz?
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, and Spanish troops as well. So
yeah, Spanish. So if you're interested in those, check Warlord out, and they're doing that. So definitely worth a look.
Especially them. The Croatians, because like I say, the Croatians they fought at Stalingrad, as did there was everybody at Stalingrad. There was Germans, Croatians, Romanians, Italians. So it's good that Warlord are releasing those decals to really give you that sort of diverse flavour, the diverse background of all the different regiments that were
there. Yeah. Dom, this might be one. I suppose that's for everyone. They're having a bit of a conversation here. A few of them. I think Miller's started something off.
Yeah.
Basically, Miller has said if you're using armies which have pikes or long spears, so I guess he's thinking of English Civil War, but I guess if you're doing Greeks and hoplites and things like that, he said, how would you prefer to have them, with their pike or spears up in the air or at charge facing forward? Because me and him have been having conversations ever since he sent me that box over there that's sitting there taunting me with the lovely English Civil War models in it, which I'm really want to start, but I've got all these Carthaginians to do. We've been chatting, and obviously if you've got these regiments and then you've got these pikes that are sticking way out from the base, when you then contact, obviously they get all tangled up. But I've seen quite a few movement trays or people who base, and that the pikes are actually they just have a long bases with the pikes over it, and then they've got a couple of casualties. Like, what do you think of those? Do you think do you use them?
I think they look visually brilliant. I've never used them though myself. I have to. Yeah, I mean, I usually would prefer to have pikes standing upright. Although then there's the challenge of bloody storing the things because they stick so far.
Yeah, they're a nightmare.
They're a nightmare, and also they're the ones that get you every time you reach into the box to pick the figures up and you skew your hand. But I've seen those ones where they've got them all sticking out the front, and I don't know how that works. Well, I do know how it works, but it just in a game that means your unit suddenly becomes about 4 times longer than it should otherwise be.
Yeah. So when do they? When do they contact?
You've got them at like a 45-degree angle or something.
That's at port, isn't it? Is that the word they call it? At port? Is that what they say?
At port or whatever it is. Yeah. No, I haven't painted them yet. Still haven't, and I've had them for about 15 years. But I've got some Macedonian pikemen, and they basically sold them in every. You bought each rank with them in different levels of position. So the final one is upright, but the front one is literally down, receiving cavalry sort of position, and the idea of the whole phalanx is just sort of like that sort of a porcupine effect. And I really quite fancy doing them, but I just never got around to.
I think that's how I can build these English Civil War ones, isn't it? I think the plastic set from Warlord, they've got varying degrees of.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a difficult one, but I think definitely up is a lot easier to store and to manage. Although you do have to watch your hands on them. But I do. I've seen people put them on the interweb and stuff, showing pictures of those movement trays you're talking about, and it does look good.
I do like the look
I
of
just
them.
think it's going to stick out a long way, and if you're fighting a game and suddenly somebody can get on your flank because that unit is suddenly 12 inches long rather than 3 inches long or whatever.
Yeah.
It could be a bummer, couldn't it?
I suppose as long as you count the unit as being the front of the base being the front of the unit, then it wouldn't necessarily matter, would it? Because it's not, as long as even though the model itself is a couple of is say 4 inches back, but then
you're still going to have that problem when you're putting them on the table, that they're when you put them on the front line and you want something behind them.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a little bit complicated that way, although it does look good. I don't argue with that, but I think I would definitely pick on upright just for ease. It's my simple answer. Yeah, Paul Richardson agrees. He says strictly up for me. Says I think he's talking about Pike.
Yeah, I've been messaging Paul as well. Getting advice from Miller and Paul are a bad influence.
Fine, just a quick question.
Go on, Steve. I just want to apologise to Paul. He's just started a new bolt action project, Winter Germans, and apparently I am to blame.
Yes, so, I saw
Paul,
that.
I am very, very, very sorry for this.
Not.
Paul, he's not.
No.
He's a bad on everyone.
Precisely not. But I was going to say, Martin, what size bases do you use again for your commanders?
What, in black powder?
Yeah. What ones are they?
I use, because I like making little vignettes. Yeah, they are. Hang on, I'll tell you. These ones, they are.
Yeah.
They are. I get them from Renedra. They are 11.5 centimeters from one by 8.5.
11.5 by 8.5. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy some later because I want to get that kernel done as well. I've got the casualty markers out.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do this battalion of light infantry. What battalion were they again? Let's have a look. There's my little
trousers you
blue. Blue, because they're light infantry, and my resource says it was blue. So I'm going blue. I can't find it, but I think they're the 9th, basically 9th light infantry. I'm pretty sure they are. That's actually a bit worrying because those flags have disappeared. That's not good. But yeah, so I'm going with those. But I'm going to do the casualty markers at the same time because they're all in great coats as well. Apart from these,
being an expert on things French, Napoleonics.
Yeah, go on.
There's no real difference between the actual regiments in terms of turnbacks or anything like that, is there? It's
No, there is. There is.
There is
colours. Okay. Yeah, colours. Yeah. There are certain patterns and not colour, not the blue colour. No, not the blue colour. Yeah. That's all the same. Don't get me wrong, but like turnbacks, they're different. They can be different colours. Cuffs, different colours. Is it lapels in it? These things on the top.
Epaulets.
Different. Epaulets, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Epaulets, yeah. They can be different colours. The voltigeurs and the grenadiers around the neck and all that can be different colours. There are little subtle differences, but the main uniform colours are the same. And like light infantry, for example, will have blue trousers. Well, how I'm going to do it anyway, and what I've seen. Where normal line will have white.
Mm-hmm.
So there are subtle differences.
25th.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's. I wasn't entirely
there are
sure
differences.
I've never really painted. I've never painted French Napoleonics at all. I will do one day. But
like their drummer boys and stuff like that. Different battalions will have different colours. So like it's normally green for like Fusilier, and then you get blue. For some of them, for grenadiers, it will be red. It just depends on which one. That's why that resource is really helpful, because at least you can get the drummer boys and that as the right sort of color, and the officers will be a different color as well. It's like my Italians. The officer on that was completely different. Like the troops are white, and he is actually green, and like a darker green for his trousers. So, and I think it's black for his top. So completely different. Which to me that works. You don't have to have the right shade of green. A green's a green. If it's dark green, it's dark green. But I've tried my best to do it right. But I'm going to just do the same with these greatcoats. I'll just paint them in this sort of colour. But that's another thing I wanted to ask you, Martin. Some of these look like they've got different type of greatcoats. Are they meant to be like guard? They've got loads of buttons down either side.
What? The casualties?
Yeah.
Show me.
Guy laying down, he's got like buttons, loads of buttons either side.
No, I don't think he is. No,
he's not meant to
no, it's one of the war. No, he's just generic French casualty.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, some of these are Voltigeurs.
I don't think I've seen any guard casualty models actually. Come to think of it,
I've got someone sending me some free plastic ones. They're 4 from the Perrys. I didn't even know they did those.
No, they're the ones that come in. They come in the Cuirassier set. One of the 2 of them are British and 2 of them are just French line.
Oh, that's handy.
So yeah. Do you remember the one I showed you where I said I was going to? I kind of like said he'd been hit by a cannonball and I was considering putting a ball bearing in his chest to say that was the cannonball. Yeah, it's those ones.
It's that one, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna try and be a bit more adventurous with my basing when it comes to my commanders. I'm gonna try and take a leaf out of your book, Steve, and instead of just doing like commander on base, I think I'm gonna try and tell a story, which will be quite interesting.
Well, it's not going to be fun if they're all running away, Ken.
That's what I like about basing, though. I mean, with these redoing these Stalingrad ones, when I first made the base, I was like really, really chuffed with them. I thought, yeah, these look really nice. And looking at them now, I just think that they're quite dull. It's just so. What I've been doing is I've been adding extra rocks and bits of timber like balsa wood, and just making them look a bit more lived in because they look a bit dull at the moment. But I'm actually really enjoying repainting these because I finally settled on a scheme that I like. So I'm looking forward to it being completed. The only trouble is now I'm going to have to make some sort of snow urban scenery to go with them.
It's true.
Yeah.
So what's going to be your next army, Steve? You've done all these bolt action armies and you've got dozens of them. What are you going to do next?
Well, the current one I'm working on my Stalingrad Germans and early war French. I think once they're both done, I either want to pick up that the Blitzkrieg starter army, so the early war German one, or because I really want to do. I'm in 2 minds with that. I either want to do sort of 1939, 1940 proper old school, old fashioned Blitzkrieg uniform. I've never painted anything like that, but I also want to do that early Stalingrad. So what I want to do,
that's what I did, Steve. That's what I've done.
Lots of brick bases with dust and just generally looking a bit different to my winters. In fact, what I was going to do was link the two together. So with the start, it's going to be the same regiment, but this is them at the start and this is them halfway through. But
that'd be really good.
I've also been toying with doing Americans. The new US infantry box. I'm currently reading a book about D-Day, and I really want to do a Normandy-based American force. Just so many options, just too many options.
You'll be opening yourself up for a can of worms with that, Steve. The old paratroopers as well.
But Steve, when are you going to fit in your hussars around all this World War II stuff?
Yes, Steve, hussars.
Moving on.
I've done my cavalry, Steve. You got to do yours now.
I don't know. To be fair, with the Napoleonics, I've actually been looking at them in a smaller scale. I was actually on the
10 mil
Bacchus. I'm toying between 6 mil and 10 mil because I really want. Doesn't matter what scale it's in. I really want a Napoleonic army, and I've got to dabble with the truth that there's a good chance it's not going to be in 28 mil. 10 mil, 6 mil are going to be the easiest options for me.
Now, yeah. Now, Steve, if you want to sell your French, you know you have a friend.
I'm not sad. I don't sell miniatures.
It's the wrong person there, kid.
Here we go.
No, I don't sell them.
Lucian George has said, Steve, you even dress in blue. Those French coats are getting to you.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Look, Fleur de Lis here, mate. Look, beautiful colours.
They've been an eye opener for me. I think long term though, I don't think I'll be painting lots of them. I think there'll be something that I build up over years rather than months.
Yeah, I was going to say, can you do them over like 5 years or something?
I think that's what I mean. Well, Ken's the exception here, I suppose. But and Dom, because you've just done a sort of fairly large Napoleonic project and you're just cracking on with it. But I just keep on adding to mine and just keep on building. I never actually had a plan. I just keep on, which was when I did those showcase videos, was quite good for me to actually lay everything out and go, God, I need to actually paint some cavalry.
Yeah. I think if I could get a whole brigade done in 28 mil, so three infantry battalions, some cavalry, and some cannon and a HQ, I'd be happy with that because I could say I've actually achieved something then. But thinking realistically about it, I mean, I can paint in the time it's taken me to paint those Napoleonics. I could have painted virtually the entire starter box for bolt action. So I think that's going to be the way I'm going. But no, it's going to be lots more bolt action over the next few months. I think that's going to be my primary painting and video making, is because there are 1 or 2 bolt action videos on my channel in case you haven't noticed. Literally, yeah.
It's funny that one, Steve, isn't it?
Yeah,
I do the occasional one. I really do.
Maybe you should do a secret. Maybe you should have like a little secret Napoleonic 6 mil, Steve, and not tell anyone apart from like us lot, but not advertise it on your channel, so you can just keep it as your little thing.
Yeah,
and you can do it as you want.
I'm thinking of doing that because I mentioned last week, 6 mil defeated me one time. I don't like to be defeated by painting, so they do really good army deals on the Bacchus website. You can get a really good army deal for. I think you can get for about 30 quid. You can get an entire army.
Yeah.
Of 6 mil.
Yes. This is all I shall show you. There you go, Steve. See what I'm using 2 bags, mate. Look how small. Look how small they are. Look at that. That's a whole army in a bag there.
Look how unpainted they are.
Why don't you just send Steve the Confederates or the Union, and you do the other half, and you can do it at the same time on the stream?
No, because it's my project next month. This is what I'm going to do next month. This is my treat. I can't wait to do these 6 mil.
That's what I want. Where's your part?
It's
in the bloody. Jesus Christ.
Boney's Miniatures has just come in, by the way, and just said he likes your medieval shirt. So there you go. There's one.
Oh, thank you, sir.
And Alpha 7563's just turned up and said hello. I don't know if I've seen you before, but hello.
Hello.
Matt. Oh yeah, I've got someone I've never seen before. Hello, Matt. He's definitely wanted to do a Soviet early Stalingrad force. Still trying to assemble the bloody infantry. Total pain. Yeah, that Soviet kit's quite a lot of parts because all the rifles come separately, don't they? But you get a lot of guys.
Me and Paul were having this conversation on Saturday on the Facebook group about. I really want to do Winter Soviets for Stalingrad, but I'm not. I refuse to put myself through that kit. I'm not going to do it. If they brought a new
already
one,
assembled, or if someone's already assembled it for you. No,
no,
we don't have that.
That'd be the equivalent of. That's the war game equivalent of eating a pot noodle. I'm not doing
that. You and Dom should have questions. You buy ready-made, don't you, Dom? Pre-built.
I do indeed. I've got some right now. Actually, I buy them all the time. Anything to avoid bloody putting the damn things together.
See, I enjoy that. For me, there's no better joy than sitting down with a freshly opened plastic box and inhaling that first aroma of sweet plastic before building them.
You are just weird.
Well, I'm just looking at all these bloody French.
Weird, you are.
Yeah.
I always think I love the idea, and I look at the box and I pull it out and I think, right, it's going to be this, and I sit down, and when within 10 minutes I've chopped my finger off, I've stuck something to my nose, I've dropped half the pieces on the floor, and it's like, oh, I'm doing this. My nightmare. Can't be arsed with it. Really can't be arsed with it. That said, there are some really nice kits, but that Russian one was a nightmare, and I did do it for my winter Russian army.
But it's not as bad as the bloody British kit. Jesus, that thing.
Oh God, that British kit that was my introduction to bolt action. I bought that and I sat down, and
no.
In fact, I couldn't even swear. I reached a point where I transcended swearing because I was so confused by it all. Those figures are in a box on my on my shelf over there, and I don't even look at them because if I open that box, I'll start crying. They're that bad.
I don't understand. Go on.
So why do they have to make some of them so bloody complicated?
They were old, weren't they? They're old kits.
These are really old. I think they took on the feedback that separate arms and weapons is
okay.
bloody annoying. I mean, I don't mind. I mean, what I like are the kits where you've got the arms and weapons together, but also gives you the option of putting weapons in hands. You can do a lot. You can do a lot with those types of kits, but if every weapon has to be manually attached to 2 pairs of hands, no, absolutely not. It's not happening on my desk anyway.
Well, I've already decided my British I've got, Steve. They're literally they're getting redone because how I've done it. You've got the rifle sticking over there and the arms like under here.
Yeah.
Because when I first did it, I couldn't line it up properly. They don't line up, and it's like, what the hell?
A couple of mine with the brain guns, they're holding them, and it looks like they're using them as a battering ram rather than holding them or firing them. They're like out in front of them like that. They just look. Ugh. Maybe it was me. I mean, I'd been at the hobby for a while, but I really did struggle with them. I really did.
Yeah, I wait for another set of British plastics to come out, or some do a BEF force with. I think it's someone's just released a load of British Expeditionary Force, and I can't remember who it was. And they look really good, and I'll remember for next week's show. But yeah.
Yeah, someone's just said that the Warlord, Nick Games said Samurai plastic kit from Warlord is a nightmare to put together. I assume that's the one that's on War Games Illustrated, the old War Games Factory kit, which I have tried to put together.
Yeah, he did the video, didn't he? Just recently, I was watching that, and I thought because I quite like the idea because I think he put the challenge up, didn't he? Or some of the guys put the challenge up on the War Games Anonymous to make it up. The kit up, and I thought I've never done a samurai. I'll do that. And then I watched his video of making them, and I thought, no, I won't. Because it looks an absolute nightmare. It's a complete ball ache. Oh, dear. Yeah, Kaiser says many of the old wargaming kits are not wargaming kits. They're repackaged Talieri kits, which are for modelers.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. My British that I've got, they're never going to get really used. They're there as a proxy at the minute, if in case I really need some British desperately. But they're going to end up on the old eBay, definitely, 100%. They're getting redone because they were shocking.
I can't even look at mine. They're embarrassing. They really are.
Thanks, are all right.
Embarrassing. Yes, yeah. I mean, I think the only bits I would salvage from the army are I've got a
Cromwell
25-pounder. I've got a Churchill. I've got an M10.
Anything in metal, basically.
Yeah, the medium, the machine gun team and the mortar team. I think they're the only bits I'd salvage from them. But the plastics, absolutely no way.
Yeah, the 6-pounder as well. You get, don't you? Yeah.
But no,
Yeah, that'd be it.
no plans to ever use them ever again. Ugh.
Oh, Steve, if you go early war Germans,
Mhm.
don't get that bolt action start set. Get a box of their infantry, but then go
Yeah.
to tag the assault group, the metals,
Oh yeah.
the machine guns, the mortars on there, sublime. The machine gun on there is amazing. Check it out, mate. Go and have a look. It is very good. So
I might
get a
have to
box of
try
that,
that.
and plus you'll get a unique machine gun, really, won't you, compared to the normal warlords.
Yeah.
Have a look.
I think what I might do is rather than go out and buy the whole box, just get the infantry box to start off with, and just get the scheme down, and then when I start adding bits to it, I think I may check them out. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I'll send you a link to them in the group so you can check them out. But yeah,
sweet.
But it's past 10 o'clock, gentlemen. Have we got
Is it?
anything else crucial that you would like to say?
Oh, can I give a quick shout out to a channel?
Yeah.
You certainly can.
Go.
If you're into pike and shot or English Civil War, check
Martin's
out.
ears are raised.
Do you know what? I want to make sure I get this correct because I keep saying the wrong word. But this is
Oh, I'm gonna.
oh come on, you.
Suspense. The suspense. We'll put the link anyway on the Miniature Wargaming Warriors Facebook page.
Exodite Wargaming. There we go.
Right, I'll be looking at that.
He focuses mainly on pike and shot era, and a lot of English Civil War. So yeah, nice little channel. So go and check him out.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Hopefully as well, next week, Dom will be on his 1,000 subscribers. It's getting very close. Very, very close. Go and check Dom's channel out if you haven't done so already. Let's push him over to 1,000. Let's get him there. Get him to join the big boys club.
I'm going to retire at that point because I'll be up with the luminaries of the YouTube community.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, do you know what, Dom? I never even commented on your T-shirt.
Well, this one.
I've only just noticed it.
This is Chilling War Games one.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Good, yeah.
So love it. Absolutely love it. But guys, just want to say thank you again for Chilling War Game. I just want to say thanks very much for watching this week, and we will hope to see you again very soon. We'll see you next Monday for Plastic Crack Podcast. I'm on call, yay! So hopefully I'll be about. If not, you'll get these free. So we'll see you again very soon, guys.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks.
Bye bye.
See you now. Bye.